Hello, a very warm welcome to Cambridge Veritas. My name is Krishnatria, and I'm a linguist, IELTS trainer, and a teacher trainer at Cambridge Veritas. I've been teaching IELTS for the last 15 years, and welcome to our live lesson. There's something very interesting today. Today, we're live on two platforms. We're not only live on YouTube, but we're also live on Instagram as well. So, to all the members of our YouTube family and Instagram family, a big hug and welcome to the live lesson. If you're new, welcome to the community. Make sure that you subscribe. And if you attended yesterday and have joined us again today, welcome back again. This lesson involves two interesting activities. And for both those activities, we require active participation. So make sure you are seated somewhere quietly, enjoying your sip of coffee or chai, and let's get started without further ado. So what are we going to do today? For a very, very long time, we were looking at IELTS writing. If you have been with us, there's a complete playlist of IELTS writing that we covered, the fundamentals, basics, and a few advanced secrets here and there on YouTube. But this week, starting today, which is Sunday, we're now going to be looking at IELTS speaking, the secrets of it. So if you're somebody who struggles a lot when it comes to IELTS speaking particularly, then this series is only for you. So stay tuned, join us every day at 9 p.m. आज के लेसन के बारे में बात करते हैं. What are we going to do today? So let's have a look. Today we're going to be looking at this. IELTS speaking part 1, answering questions like a pro. Answer questions like a pro. And there's a very interesting, I would say, there's a very interesting technique that we're going to be looking at, which is what you can see in the title of the video as well. It's called ARE. What do we call it? We call it ARE. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's understand what are the agendas. What is the agenda? What are the different aims that we're going to be looking at आज के lesson में? So number 1 is this. So in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at common personal questions that examiners tend to ask when it comes to IELTS writing. So that's number 1. Number 2, we will play a game in the next 20, 30 minutes, 20, 25 minutes, whatever. And we'll play this game to understand what is ARE technique, R technique. What is it and how can we use to extend our answers? Because a lot of students, a lot of candidates feel, hey, Bhagwan would say, answer extend nahi kara jayega. I'm going to freeze and I'm going to feel very uncomfortable when it comes to, elaborating on the answer. So it's a very simple technique that I'm going to share with you in the next 20 minutes. All right, so that's point number 2. Now let's have a look at point number 3. Together, you and I will have a group practice. My God, who had imagined that it is actually possible online as well? So in this live class today, we'll have a group practice, but it will only be successful if you participate with me. If you don't participate, it's just one-sided love, okay? So you've got to participate as well. And the last thing that we're going to look at is unjumble the answers. So we have an activity wherein we'll unjumble the answers. So stay tuned and let's begin the show. Chalu kare? Alrighty, here we go. Please have a look. So let's play game number 1. जैसे ही हम lesson start कर रहे हैं, I'm going to show you what's the most interesting thing. So let's understand first of all what is our technique. But before I tell you that, let's have a look at a few important bits. Number 1. Oopsie. Bear with me. So what happens is when examiners ask part 1 questions in IELTS, students make the biggest mistake of answering in either yes or no. As an examiner, you feel that this person does not know English or cannot elaborate on their ideas, and therefore they end up getting a less band despite their good communication skills. So it's important to understand when you answer a personal question, do not just say a yes and do not just say a no. It is very didactic and it doesn't work on the IELTS. So iska solution kya hai? So आज के lesson में I'm going to show you the star technique. Can you see the star? So I'm going to show you क्या लिखा है इसके पीछे. Of course, ARE लिखा है, but we'll understand what is the meaning of ARE in a bit. And then after that, we'll understand instead of saying a yes or a no, it's very important to use 2 or 3 sentences to give details and reasons. All right. But I've seen so many people attending tons of training and going through multiple rounds of practice, but still, the moment they go in that IELTS speaking round, they freeze to death and they're not able to elaborate on their answers because sab kuch rata hua hai. It's all cramped. But the important thing here is if you follow this technique, everything is going to be sorted. Kya technique hai ye ji? Ye bhi samajh lete hain. So this technique is very simple. It is A as in answer the question. Jo bhi unhone pucha hai one sentence mein. Don't say yes or no. Simply answer the question. R as in give reason behind it. All right. एक और sentence add हो जाएगा fluently. And E as in give an example behind it as well. अब इसको हम देखने वाले हैं एक एग्जाम्पल के फॉर्म में भी. We'll understand it in the form of an example as well. So stay tuned. Here we go. I repeat once again. Repeat after me. A as in answer the question. R as in give a short reason behind it. We'll look at it. And E as in give an example as well. I repeat. E as in give an example as well. समझते हैं क्या कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं. Let's have a look at an example. So the question that was asked by an IELTS examiner in interview round is, speaking round is, what's your favorite season? बहुत simple question है. People are like, oh my God, अब क्या बोलूं? Oh my God. It's very simple. You use answer, reason, example. समझें इसको? Have a look. I love autumn. I hope you're able to see it here. Give me one moment. But show me a thumbs up if you're able to read the content properly in the chat box. Thank you. All right. I love autumn. Itna to ho gaya answer. Jo simple question pucha tha. Now you tell the reason behind it as well. Because the weather is cool. It's actually true. I love autumn. The weather is cool and it's kind of changing from hot to cold. Now give an extra piece of information in the form of an example. So it is the leaves change color and it looks beautiful. Of course, इस आंसर को भी कितने सारे पैटर्न्स में हम बोल सकते हैं, बेटर कर सकते हैं, grammatically, lexical resources wise and whatnot. So we can bedazzle this answer if we want to. But simply speaking, format क्या होना चाहिए? Answer, give a reason with an example. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, answer, give a reason, and then eventually an example. और इसी को अगले 20 मिनट्स में आप और मैं बहुत सारी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे कुछ क्वेश्चंस के साथ जो क्वेश्चंस मैंने सिलेक्ट करे हैं. सो द आइडिया इज स्टिक अराउंड अंटिल द एंड बिकॉज बहुत अच्छी प्रैक्टिस होने वाली है और बहुत कुछ सीखने वाले हैं. संडे को प्रोडक्टिव बनाने वाले हैं. रेडी? ऑल राइट, हियर वी गो. थम्स अप का वेट कर रहा हूं भाई लोग. हेलो, वेयर इज द थम्स अप? ऑल राइट. Instagram is more active today than YouTube. Hello, Bello. Where's everyone on YouTube? So here we go. All right. इसको समझने की कोशिश करते हैं now in the form of examples. अब क्या करेंगे हम? I'm going to show you 3 questions on the right hand side, on the left hand side of the screen. And on the right hand side of the screen, I'm going to show you simple answers जो हमने use करे हैं ARE technique के साथ. All right. So let's have a look at question number 1. By the way, we're going to play a game wherein you will have to use the ARE technique as well. But अभी बस इसे समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. ठीक है? All right. YouTube, everyone's still waiting for the thumbs up. Here we go. So the first question is, here we go. First question is, what's your favorite season? पहले की तरह है, the same question here, so I'm not, uh, just a few things are changed here. I love autumn. इतना तो हमने बोल दिया answer. All right? This is the answer. I love autumn. Perfect. Why? What is the reason? Give a reason. Because the weather is cool and comfortable. All right? ये भी हो गया. Now give example. The leaves change color, making the scenery beautiful. It's also a great time for outdoor walks. You know, those pink leaves, etc. So, what is this person doing? Using the ARE technique to simply elaborate on the answer, to elucidate on the answer. Perfect, Jayanti and Uday. Wonderful, guys. Now, let's have a look at question number 2. So, question number 2 is, do you enjoy cooking? Now, ये questions ना थोड़े tricky हैं. मैं बताता हूँ क्यों tricky हैं. Because in these kinds of questions, they are called closed-ended questions, because in questions ka answer, you can answer these questions in yes and no as well. But the moment you say yes or no and you freeze, well, that's what the question wanted you to do. If you're not elaborating further, it gives an impression that your communication skills are weak, and therefore, on the international English language testing system, you get a low band. On the other hand, if you've attended this live class with us, what do? We use the ARE technique to elaborate, accentuate, elucidate this answer further. So, answer kya hoga? Let's have a look here. Yes, this is the answer. I enjoy cooking. Reason? Because it helps me relax after a busy day. Reason bhi bata diya. Now, what do you have to do? Give an example. I love trying new recipes, especially Italian dishes like pasta. It's also a great way to spend time with my family. Now, can you see how this answer is following the ARE technique, the ARE formula? All right. We will look at one last question, and then there's an activity coming up after this. All right. So, one last question is in front of us. Here we go. So, the question is, where do you live? I live in New Delhi. All right. Thank you. Uske baad kya kare ji? You have to elaborate. So, what is it? The answer is here. I live in London, a city full of history and culture. So you're answering the question with a teeny weeny extra bit. There are so many things to do, from visiting museums to enjoying parks. All right. So here, you're not giving the reason. All right. If you see, all you're doing is you're skipping the reason, but you're actually adding examples of more information related to the city. There are so many things to do, from visiting museums to enjoying parks. I love the mix of old and modern architecture here. So you're talking about the city and giving a teeny weeny bit information related to what exactly it is. All right. So as we understand here, in certain questions, you may not be able to give the reason, and that's fine. But the idea then becomes, then add maybe one example or two in that situation. All right. But isi answer ko agar zabardasti kheenchne lagenge, even that has a negative marking as well. So it's simple. Answer in 2 or 3 sentences using A as an answer, R as in reason, E as an example, wherever applicable. All right. So there's that. Now, let's have a look at the most important bit. We're going to play a game. Okay. This game is called Unjumble the Answers. What do we call it? Unjumble the Answers. Let's understand it. Here we go. So I have a question right in front of us, and the answers mentioned as well. Everybody be ready with your fingers on the chat box. A, B, C. Read the question, read the answers, which is divided in 3 parts, and arrange it in the right order of ARE technique. So the question is, you can pause the video if you want to at this stage. Put your answers in the chat box, and then I'll show you what the correct answers are. I repeat, I'll show you what the correct answers are. Ready? All right, so let's do number one together. What do you usually do on weekends? A. On Sundays, I like to relax at home or watch a movie with my family. TKG, very nice. B. I usually spend my weekends going to the park and meeting friends for coffee. And C. It's a great way to unwind after a busy week. So, what's A? What's the right order of using this answer in the IELTS speaking test? Put your answers in the chat box, please. Thank you, Uday. Naisa, Jayanti, Kushi, thank you. Waiting for others as well. Puneet, I'm looking forward to seeing you participate. And everyone, hello. We'll take 10 more seconds. Perfect. Superb. So the correct answers are, here we go. First one is, as you guys wrote, yes. First one's B. And then A. And then C. So the answer is, what do you usually do on weekends? I usually spend my weekends going to the park and meeting friends for coffee. On Sundays, which is the answer. Okay. On Sundays, I like to relax at home or watch a movie with my family, which is more like a reason and example, both actually. It's a great way to unwind after a busy week. It's more like an extension of the reason only. So, as you can see, how this answer has changed here using the ARE technique. This time, you're actually just elaborating on the reason only. So, again, this is the R here, not an example. So, you're using the answer and then the reason twice. That's all. And these variations are possible as long as it's got to fit the context of the question as well. So, remember that. Chaliye, so we're going to be looking at 3 questions. Question 1 is over. Now let's have a look at the next one. Question 2. Do you prefer tea or do you prefer coffee? Option A. I find it refreshing and love trying different types like green tea and herbal blends. B. I prefer tea because it has a milder taste compared to coffee. And C. In the morning, I always start my day with a warm cup of tea. So, what's the answer? 10 seconds. Everybody, put your answers in the chat box, please. Thank you. Let's take 10 more seconds. CBA, are you sure? Read the this is a little bit tricky, everybody. Everyone watching us, especially my YouTube family is very active. Hello, here we go. Great job, guys. Good ones with the answers. But read the answer once again. Where is the answer first? We're not looking at the reason. Where's the answer first? If you see the word prefer, the answer also uses the word prefer. So the correct order once again is, here we go, B, C, and A. Why is it? Let's have a look at it. Because the question uses the verb prefer, and sentence B, as a matter of fact, also uses the verb prefer, which is the direct answer. Of course, we're not saying that you can't start the answer with C. In the morning, I always start my day. We're not using that. But we're not saying that it's not possible. But what we are saying is that B looks like a better way to start the answer because it uses the same verb. So I prefer tea because it has a milder taste compared to coffee. Okay. In the morning, I always start my day with a warm cup of tea. Okay. So the person's basically using both. I find it refreshing and I always try, and I love trying different types like green tea and herbal blends. So here is the answer, then the reason, and then an example. Can you see? Example, answer, reason, and example. So you got to keep that little variation and version in mind. Why are we doing this? We're doing this so that we can practice. That's all. That's the whole idea. IELTS does not ask us to arrange different sentences like that. It's for our practice so that when a question like this comes to us, we're able to sort of elucidate and elaborate on it. इसी तरीके से. Last question देखते हैं, and then we'll move to the last activity of the day. So the next question is, tell me about a hobby you enjoy. Option A, reading also improves my vocabulary and helps me relax. B, one of my favorite hobbies is reading, especially mystery novels. C, I usually read for an hour before bed because it helps me unwind. What is the answer here? Can somebody also write like 1, 2, 3 आप कौन से question का answer दे रहे हो? Because otherwise it's a because बहुत सारे messages हैं because I'm getting a little bit confuzzled there. Thank you. Thank you there. So the correct answer is B. Many people are saying that, yeah. C and A. So let's read it in that order. B is one of my favorite hobbies. By the way, can I tell you a little secret? When people say the sentence, no, one of my da 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 da, you always, 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 always make this word plural. I repeat. For example, one of my teachers, plural. One of my hobbies, plural. One of my rooms, plural. One of my laptops, plural. One of my mugs, plural. One of my pens, plural. Hamesha plural. Yaad rakhna. So one of my favorite hobbies is reading, especially mystery novels. So what is this? It is the direct answer. I usually read for an hour because before bed because it helps me unwind is the reason. And A, reading also improves my vocabulary and helps me relax. Example, a classic way to answer personal questions in IELTS Speaking Part 1 using the ARE technique. Very less likes on the video, and I hope this particular technique has helped you to sort of answer questions a little more promptly. Make sure that you subscribe and like because this is what motivates our team. Make sure to do that. Thank you. If you find the lesson useful. Let's move on. So, itna to hua. Thank you. So, this is all about the practice so far. But what are we going to do next? As I promised you, एक group practice करेंगे जो अभी हमने करा. अब एक individual practice करेंगे. What are we going to do? Individual practice. So let's have a look at it together. So what is it, first of all? Once again, what is the ARE technique once again? Answer, reason, example. I'm going to show you 3 questions one by one. Look at the 3 questions. If you want to pause the video and answer using this, do that, that's fine. But if you want to do a little more rigorous practice and type your answers, that's lovely too. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I know some people may not have that may not have that speed. So my apologies. But try sort of putting whatever you can. It's only for the sake of practicing at the preliminary stage. When you answer, use this format: answer, reason, and example. So the first question is drum rolls, hello, hello. Here we go. So the first question is, what do you usually do on weekends? ये question already हमने देखा हुआ है. Your time starts now. 30 seconds. Ten seconds to go. Here we go. Let's have a look at it. No answers yet? Waiting for some answers. So if I were to, okay, perfect. Uday has put his answers. Let's read Uday's answer. So, what do you usually do on weekends? I usually spend my weekend going out shopping. Very nice, is the answer. I love shopping for clothes and books. Wonderful. So, is the reason? Or I think it's more like an example only. And the last one is, this sometimes works like therapy for me. Lovely, absolutely. Looks like it's the ARR version. Correct me if I'm wrong. All about Alka. Alka, hi Alka. So Alka says, honestly speaking, most of the time I love to create videos and taking pictures because it helps me to make relax. It helps me. It helps me to makes me relax. Is it? थोड़ा सा grammar correction करना होगा उधर, but I think it's all right. Good. Alka is using the A and R funda. Perfect. Anybody else? Hello? Puneet says, I usually spend time with my family by trying new things. Puneet on Instagram. New things because as a professional, weekend is only a day spent time with my parents as well as friends. Lovely, Puneet. Love your participation. Great job. Welcome to our Instagram family. Chalo, next question dekhte hain. All right. So next question is, hello, hello. Here we go. Do you prefer tea or coffee and why? Do you prefer tea or coffee and why? 30 seconds start now. Fifteen seconds to go. Thank you. In case you're not able to see the question, here we go. Kamal wrote something and removed. Kamal, feel free to let us know. Thank you. Okay, waiting for some answers. Thank you. चलो इतने आप लोग आंसर लिख रहे हो, इतने हम थोड़ा सा करेक्शन कर देते हैं. All right. So there's the sentence. We call it error correction. क्या बोलते हैं इसे? Error correction. So there was a sentence, Uday and Kushi, I'm going to come to your questions in a bit, because it helps me to make relax. Helps me to make relax. If you see a sentence like this, and we call it error correction, by the way, and we help each other with sort of language corrections, all right? So in case we have activities like this in the future, we'll do it in the live classes. So isme kya ho raha hai? There are two action verbs here. What is the meaning of verb? Verb means kuch bhi action karna. For example, I'm writing, I'm teaching, you are participating, I'm dancing, I am sleeping. So verb means an action. Of course, it can be a state as well, but simplify रखते हैं चीजें. अब यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है? Let's understand this. Alka, specifically, it can help you a lot. Helps me to make relax. Make is a verb and relax is a verb. दोनों ही action है. So you have to use any one. So in this case, you can simply say it helps me relax. So इसको हटा देंगे. And you simply say it helps me relax. All right. To make is redundant. So we remove it from here and helps me relax. Let's read some answers now. Start with Uday again. I mostly prefer black coffee. I start my day with black coffee in the morning as it's a refreshing way to start my day. I'm addicted to coffee, so I prefer coffee more. All right, good. I think there's a lot of answering and then reason going on there. Well done. Sending 100. Kushi says, I prefer tea as it refreshes me. I'm a hardcore I'm hardcore Indian. I love my tea with ginger and cardamom, and with every sip it improves my focus. Lovely, very nice. So you're using again, I think you're using that ARE framework, the whole of it. Kanchan says, I am a tea person, and it's my morning routine to start my day because it feels energetic after drinking it. Very nice. So using answering and then reasoning as well. Perfect. Ulukbek, welcome from Uzbekistan. So, Anit, hi Anit, welcome to our live session. And it says, I prefer coffee to tea. The aroma of coffee helps me ease out of my slumber each morning. A blend of Arabica and chicory is absolutely refreshing. Superb. I like the vocabulary that you're using, as a matter of fact. Jayanti, I love coffee because the aroma smells pleasure me to crave for it. My mother prepares the coffee with special love. Sweet. That's so sweet. Again, everybody's using nice framework. Alka, you're welcome. Nafisa. Nafisa says, I prefer tea over coffee. Personally, I feel it's a cultural influence which is now deep rooted in my routine. Oh, that's interesting. I always feel it's cathartic an experience to unwind with a steaming cup of tea. Great. Sorry, I may not be able to read all of them, but great job. Well done. Sending you so many hearts and love. Is there anybody on Instagram saying anything? Okay, Puneet. Puneet says, I would like to prefer coffee, would like to, all right, because in my city we can find caffeine with a fair price. Moreover, coffee helps me to relax, helps me relax, and refreshment. All right, cool. Thank you. Well done. Kya baat. Last question, dekhiye. Last question is in front of us. Tell me about a hobby you enjoy. Tell me about a hobby you enjoy. Until you write your answer, I'm going to write something on the screen, which is error correction. All right. So put your answers down. Until then, I'm going to show you one error that we should avoid when we speak. All right. Chalo, chalu karte hain. Tell me about a hobby you enjoy. Time starts. Take 10 more seconds. All right, I'm going to read your answers in a bit. थोड़ा error correction कर लेते हैं. Error corrections help us a lot. I repeat, error corrections help us a lot. कैसे help करते हैं? How do they help? How do they help us? Because we're able to learn what are the grammatical um, redundancies that we can avoid. We may have very good communication skills, but certain things are quite prevalent and it's important to avoid them. All right, so here we go. Crave for it. What is the problem in crave for it? The problem is the word for is redundant. With the word crave, we do not use a preposition for. I repeat, we do not use for. We simply say crave it. And it's very common in a lot of Asian speakers. I used to teach in Poland many years ago, almost like in 2015. And at that time, I was studying my my s- my project was to study a Ukrainian speaker. All right, and I was with her for like a month, and I used to observe the way she talks, etc. And she was a PhD in chemistry. So there are certain styles in different parts of the world. Why am I telling you this story? Because there are certain styles in different parts of the world that actually have different kinds of redundancies. And this is one such. So the next time, whoever made this error, and it's totally fine, it helps everyone. Don't say crave for it. You simply say, I crave it. Simple. I crave it. Okay? Next one. The aroma smells pleasure to me. Yahi tha na? The aroma smells pleasure to me. Aroma in itself means a good smell, a good fragrance. All right. So the word smell here can be deleted. The aroma smells pleasure to me can change to the aroma pleases me. What can we say? The aroma pleases me. All right. So next time you're using this, you can use this. Thank you. Perfect. So let's read a few answers. I'm going to read it. Would they allow me to read the answers of other people? But I'm going to be reading yours in mind as well. Thank you. I love your consistency. Bina says, I'm a sports person and I love playing cricket. Every day after my school, I go to play cricket with my friends, and it helps me to be healthy and fit, as well as I can focus on my study too. Lovely. Very nice. Quite an explanation there, which is great. I mean, the more the merrier sometimes. Kushi says, my hobby is exploring new things. I love to learn new things and stay relevant. I learned numerology. Wow, that's so lovely. It's such an interesting topic. And other occult science. It's great to have hobby that goes with your passion. Lovely. I love numerology. Alka, well, I have many hobbies, but one of my favorite hobbies, guys, keep observing other people's answers as well. उन्होंने किस तरीके से लिखा है, how they have written it, because it helps us to sort of understand how we can frame and structure our answers as well. Alka, well, I have many hobbies, but one of my favorite hobbies is talking with new people. It helps me to enhance my communication skills or reduce my hesitation level. Good. Perfect. Superb. Instagram. Anybody's written anything? Puneet again. I enjoy by doing painting in my leisure time by taking reference from ancient history. which makes me feel happy. Bravo. Super. Can we clap for everybody? Okay, we're going to read Uday's as well once. One of my favorite hobbies is reading. Reading gives me immense pleasure, and I feel like I have a companion whenever I read a book. It also enhances my vocabulary and grammar. Very nice. You guys are amazing. My God, such wonderful hobbies you guys have. Okay, let's move on. So, this is the end of this activity. Now, there's something that I want to show you. And this is very important. By the way, did you guys understand this? If you understood this, show me a thumbs up. Don't say crave for it, I crave for it. Simply say I crave it. For preposition does not go, it's not a phrasal verb. Crave for is not a phrasal verb. It's a verb in itself. Crave it. Finish. The aroma smells pleasure to me. Changes to the aroma pleases me. All right. Aroma in itself is a positive word referring to nice fragrance, like that. Now, there's something important. If you want to practice IELTS, speaking, reading, writing, and listening, just like this, but the platform will change, which is my Veritas app, you can do that with me starting 10th of February. We're going to be working together for 1 month together, starting from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. IST, Monday to Friday. And this is what we're going to be looking at. One by one, I'm going to share some advanced techniques that we will cover in the complete IELTS preparation course on Cambridge Veritas with me. So have a look. We're going to be looking at advanced technique number 1. There's one framework that we've discussed today, but there are 3 more frameworks. And one of them framework is IDEA framework, which we use to elaborate answers not only for speaking, but actually for writing as well at times. Speaking part 1, part 2, part 3. That's number 1. Advanced technique number 1 that we will do on the IELTS preparation course is lexical resources, how to use uncommon idiomatic expressions, advanced vocabulary for band 8+ if you're targeting great universities and good companies to work and study abroad. So we're going to be looking at what are paraphrasing techniques when the examiner asks you a question and how do you sort of respond to those questions. The next bit is accent, which is supremely important because you can do this. You can do this. This takes time and this takes expert guidance. And that's exactly what we will cover during the month-long training with me. For example, I'll tell you a very simple funda. Certain secrets that we only keep for the training, but I'm telling you here now because you guys are a very good audience. So here we go. The moment you use just this word incorrectly, your band score will reduce. But it is such a simple word. What is the problem with this word? The problem is when after the next word starts with a consonant, you always pronounce it simply the. For example, the problem or the banana. But the moment after the you start with a vowel sound, it becomes the. For example, the apple. It's not the apple, it's the apple. So these are bits and pieces that we have put in terms of the features of pronunciation that you have to keep in mind on the IELTS exam. And in my 15 years, I have collected all those most common mistakes that people make related to fluency, lexical resources, and accent that we discuss during the IELTS preparation course. And the last bit is on the course, we're also going to look at grammatical range and accuracy, which basically is what are band 8 structures and how do you use them? Some structures are conditionals, some are reported speech, but it's very difficult to understand and learn it in a short span of time, correct? But in this month-long training, we make sure that you're ready and are able to use band 8 structures when it comes to IELTS exam, most importantly. So, in case you're interested and you want to join the training, there's a link for you in the chat box pinned on the live messages above. You can use that to send a message to our student support team that you're interested in joining the course that is starting on 10th of February with me. Thank you. Now let's move on. There's a link of this available in the description of the lesson today as well. And like always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to our family. If you came yesterday and you're here today, lots of love again. We love your consistency. Tomorrow, a new lesson, another basic element, fundamentals that we will discuss. Make sure that you leave a feedback for me. Hello, I tell you every day. Very few people do that. Come on, what do you want me? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to beg you? Give me a feedback on how was today's lesson. It'll take 2 minutes. Hello, Bello. Make sure that you let us know what was the most interesting bit in the lesson and what do you want to do tomorrow. I promise you, if you tell me what you want to do tomorrow, I'll make that lesson for you. All right? We'll discuss the fundamentals of it with you. So there's that. Thank you so much for being a part of the lesson. Lots of love, big hug, and I will see you guys tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and haven't liked the video, please do so because it motivates our team at Cambridge Veritas who design these wonderful lessons for you. And every day they see how many. We are a small community, by the way. We've just launched our channel. So it motivates them to see the IT team, the design team, the academic team. It motivates them to see how wonderfully you guys are a active participant of our digital family. God bless. Lots of love. Take care. Ciao, ciao. See you tomorrow.